And that actually, I'm sure, is what many of our listeners are wondering about. Namely, okay, I hear you, Sandra. I understand conceptually and with the help of examples what this value story business is about. Now, the challenge for me as a job seeker becomes how do I make it spread? Not as a moment in time related to my search, but as you put it, a forever thing. Um,
Hmm.
how do you market that aspect of you, which is so central to who you are, period, not just your job search? So, how do you spread that? I mean, people think, well, there are platforms like LinkedIn, there are other documents, other places, but can we pull it into, synthesize it to just a few statements so people can get their hands
Yeah,
on what are
I
they?
say three ways.
Mhm.
There's three ways you're going to get into a networking conversation. It's either going to be a chance meeting, you randomly run into somebody, which, to be completely transparent, is not the most common, but they are good stories. They're fun to tell, right? Um, Most common, inbound. The network finds you. That happens on LinkedIn. So that means your LinkedIn profile has to be optimized to be found for what you want to be found by coming up in searches. I'm not talking about the home screen. I'm talking about the algorithm that brings you up in a search when people are searching for you. Like when recruiters tell us that, hey, by the time we got this search, stakeholders had already reached out to 20 or 30 people on LinkedIn. And then the recruiter gets it, and then they're going to use LinkedIn Recruiter, and then they can use lots and lots of filters. So like when we're optimizing a profile, we have LinkedIn Recruiter, we have LinkedIn Free. So we're testing it against both to bring you up as high as in the searches as possible. So if any of you are marketers out there, you know there's inbound and there's outbound. And I'm sure there's a few sales that generate once in a while because somebody had a random chance meeting with somebody. But inbound is when they find you. And same thing, again, those marketers would know outbound is when you find them. So when I say people burn out their network, it's because they just call up their connections because they know them and say, hey, let's have a quick conversation. Let's catch up. And they don't give them anything that's a story that they can cling on to.
Right.
What we do when we're doing the outbound with somebody's job search is we do what you would do if you had a product that you were taking to market that was going to cost a company $300,000 a year. You would say, okay, what does this product do? What's its value proposition? All right, now who's the ideal customer profile for that value? And then you start targeting. That's what we do. So once we know the value proposition, then we hone in on who are the targets that you need to get into a conversation with. Then we start breaking down the strategy to connect. So, I mean, a lot of the people that we work with, I have 8,000 connections, so a lot of times I might know them, but sometimes I know them lightly, like they were in one of my workshops or something like that. A lot of times the coach might say, "Oh, hey, wait, I coached that guy 5 years ago," or you might know them. But at least now, when you go to them, you have a call to action. You have a value conversation to tell them to spike up their reward meter, and you already know who you want that person to introduce you to. So you eliminate the risk of having to do any homework. You've got an easy action plan. And most of the times, it doesn't even require you getting on the phone with them because if they can take action in 14 seconds over an email, they're more than happy to do that.